Rolling in the Beamer, just beaming. Can't believe that I caught my man cheating. So I found another way, make him pay for it all. Hello and welcome back to the drama. And I'm a little late to tell you this story, but in my words, we call that fashionably late. And that is a welcomed action. Can you guys imagine if V. Cruella DeVille's husband ever cheated on her? I'd be doing more than just beaming in my Beamer, just beaming. Well, this story involves a married couple, a cheater, an adult worker, and the children. We all know how Cruella loves the children. I don't, but I love the puppies, especially with the spots. Sit back and relax, darling, and let me tell you the story of the Combat Gel Lady. Ashley Elliott, a red-headed woman who was adopted around the age of 10.
First of all, I was adopted when I was 10, which seems kind of strange to some people because when you hear that somebody was adopted, you assume they were adopted as a baby. But for me, I was adopted when I was 10, and 3 other siblings of mine were also adopted with me by the same parent.
She would eventually, after adulthood, would enlist in the US Army as an information technology specialist and then start on social media in around 2019 and grow to over 15 million followers on TikTok, 500,000 on Instagram, and over 2 million on YouTube. And she's constantly growing, especially with this story. You know we all love drama. Well, in the beginning of her, hold on, let me make sure. If the girls do make an appearance today because there is nothing holding them down, don't worry, I've got stickies around the chocolate chips. That's how classy I am. Also, how much you want to put down to see if the girls take an eye out? Because they are not used to not being strapped down. Okay, so in the beginning of Ashley's Instagram or social media career, she would start out posting clothing hauls to weight loss videos, a lot of diet videos like the egg diet, she would only eat eggs.
Hey you guys, welcome back. It's Ashley. I'm gonna be fasting or egg fasting for 3 days.
The military diet.
I'm going to be starting the military diet, and I'm gonna do it for 3 days.
The egg and grapefruit diet.
For 3 days, I'm gonna be doing the grapefruit and egg diet.
So she added a grapefruit into this one. We gotta look into these because some of them actually be sounding a little crazy. So as Ashley's following would increase, she would reach out to gel companies to get sponsored to keep her hair very acceptable for her line of work, to serve her country. You know, in the army, the men have to shave theirs and the women have to have it slicked down. Slicked down, it can't be in the way. You can't have flowing in the wind type hair when you're in the army. You're there to do work. Hair needs to be down. And so she would reach out to these companies since she does have a following and she does pay a lot for gel. Why not actually get sponsored? She gets help with the financial department and they get help by having more people see her slap gel on her head. Well, the only issue is none of the companies wanted to hire her, and I have a feeling that it is because she white. So you see, gel has been used highly among black women, black people for, you know, walking their hair, ponytails, slicking out back our very curly natural hair. And Ashley is lacking in the pigment department. And I don't know if a lot of gel companies that their target market are black women want to endorse a white woman because a lot of people might get a little upset by that. So Ashley said, fine, you don't want to give me a couple free gel cases so that I can send you a bunch of new clients? Perfect, peachy keen. I'll create my own line. I'm a bad bitch, don't do that. Yes, she is a boss ass bitch. Literally, she became her own boss. She has an ass. I've seen her jiggle. I'm a bad bitch, don't do. And she is, well, she's not a bitch. I think she's actually a very nice person. You will see in this. So she started her own company. We absolutely love that. And she would demonstrate how strong her gel is on her very popular TikTok. And she would start to sell out. Her gel does very well. People love her videos. People love her gel. And she's actually just seems like a very lovable girl. Well, eventually, she would incorporate her black husband in her videos and demonstrate the gel on him. Problem is, he bald as hell. But the people loved it. It went crazy. It went viral. And not only did she become the Combat Gel Lady, but she also became the Combat Gel Lady who had the husband that looks annoyed all the time. And since it did so well, he was a regular guest on her TikTok along with her kids. And that's pretty much how I knew her. The lady with the very mad husband and the lady that danced like this.
Punch your back as hard as you can, and then you're gonna shake it. And don't be shy now. Make sure you get some movement back there.
With the husband that looks very upset about it. But people loved the dynamic, the gel, the dances, the annoyed face, the everything. It worked. Everyone loved the couple. Yes, she was the TikTok combat gel lady, but she was also pretty much a couple TikTok because her husband was frequently in her videos. Every time her husband was in a video, it would go pretty viral. Well, eventually Ashley would post a video that would have her very loyal audience saying, "Did he cheat on you?"
So I have been working since I was 16 years old. And let me tell you the reason why I will never stop. Let me tell you what one of my biggest fears is. Just imagine this. Imagine it, okay? You find a man, he's amazing, he's making great money, and he wants to take care of you for the rest of your life. And you decide, cool, I just get to be home, raise the kids, he's gonna be the hardworking man he is, and he's gonna take care of us. Now imagine 20 years later, he finds somebody else that's younger, more beautiful, and he leaves you. And you don't have a job. You don't have any ways to financially support yourself.
And honestly, speculation aside, this is some very solid advice for anyone, but especially women who want that knight in shining armor to whisk them away and they become a housewife and the husband does all the things outside, you know, fulfilling the traditional roles where he does all the work outside the home for the money and she stays home and just takes care of the kids and cleans. But coming from a girl who lived in a household like that, it is not an 8-hour shift. It's a 24/7 shift until, well, some of my siblings still live at home, so it's a forever job. But anyway, very solid advice.
You no longer have your youth, and now you're alone. That would be one of my biggest fears. And I know some of y'all are married to some great men, okay? But I wouldn't put nothing past nobody.
Because once again, coming from an adult who lived in a house like that, watching my mom, who was the housewife, took care of everything in the house, situations like that do happen. Spoiler, most of my childhood friends' moms were housewives. All of my childhood friends' moms are now going through divorce. And it is messy. So the situation does happen and there's nothing wrong with having a backup plan. So Ashley would see all of the comments of people wondering and speculating that her angry husband was being happier somewhere else. And she would get on there later and assure them that it was not her situation, like, at all.
You guys, this is not my situation right now. I was just telling you the reason I will always work and why I would teach my daughter not to depend on a man financially. This has nothing to do with me. I literally brought up a scenario saying if you were married to a man for 20 years, you've never had a job, you've never had any skill sets because you thought he would take care of you for the rest of your life. And imagine if he left you for somebody else. It was a scenario. It's a scenario that has scared me since I was a girl.
But there is one thing everyone wanted to know. Where the hell did all the wonderful videos where you slap gel on his bald head go? Because they were all wiped clean. So you know what people did? They asked, and asked. Where are all the videos of you slapping gel on your husband's bald ass head? Where are all the videos of you dancing and him clearly not enjoying it? Well, Ashley would have a very good explanation for all of this as well.
All the videos of my husband have been removed from all of my platforms. And I understand that this raised a lot of concerns, especially because a lot of you guys follow us for our couples content. But I did start this channel by myself in 2020. I've always loved being on social media and he did not. Over time, I talked him into being on my social media and we saw how well the videos did of us together. So we just continued, but it was something that I was most definitely much more passionate about. But he no longer wants this life.
And that's pretty understandable, I guess. I thought that his whole I hate being here persona was just a persona. But okay, if you say that you don't really like being online, then fine, that's your thing. She wiped it all clean, that's it. It's just Ashley. Really, that's what people were there for anyway. They like Ashley. He was just more of an accessory to be on, you know, he was kind of just a guest that people really enjoyed. When I watch Ashley, it's not for the husband. I don't sign on and be like, hey, what's Ashley's husband doing these days? It's more, I want to see her slap gel on his head and then him look annoyed. And then I want to see her do her makeup. And for someone who watched Ashley, he barely talked. I don't know much about him. He was just there. He was the cast member and she was the main course of the show. But many people still speculated, but they also said, okay, she probably doesn't really want to talk about it. It's more personal. We'll just leave it alone. Well, after that video, someone did not want to leave it alone. Someone did not want to keep it private, and that person has the name of Mama Monica.
What the fuck you looking at? Bitch, I'll take your man.
A sex worker who is married herself, but her and her husband are in an open relationship. They kind of have to be since she is an sex worker, and she had no problem making this situation absolutely public and part of her business. In fact, she was so interested or just needing to let the public know the truth that she decided to take a break from protecting her kids and TikTok during a hurricane evacuation. For the people.
I'm currently evacuating for a hurricane, but I do want to kind of touch on it.
I guess she's not the only one serving her country. Right, Ashley? Well, in Monique's video, she would be extremely vague. The video was very long, drawn out, and didn't really say much. When I watched it, I was like, what the is she talking about?
First, I want to say that I am not blasting this girl's business. She is quite literally blasting herself. And I'm not coming for her for crying on the internet because honestly, who hasn't? Because I sure as hell have. Being a mom is quite hard sometimes.
And that's literally how everybody else took it. They said, huh?
That's my opinion. I don't know what else is going on in their home. I don't know what side of the story he gave her, what he has said or not. And if she doesn't want to reach out, that's fine. I'm not the kind of woman that says, don't come at me as a woman. If you have a question, feel free to ask and I will decide if I want to answer or not.
They said, can you clarify all this? So since she kind of did, she's all over the place. You can tell that she's not that great at articulating her words and explaining well online so that people can kind of understand what's going on. I mean, if you're going to insert yourself in this type of drama, girl, be clear, because it was very confusing. So let me give you the details. She claimed that Ashley's husband was one of her clients, but they never met in person and only communicated virtually. So supposedly there has been, according to Monica, there's been a lot of issues in the marriage between the bald black husband, I still don't know his name, and Ashley. At least that's what Monique said that the husband said to her, which is why he was reaching out to her, a sex worker, for, hold on, I need to, for therapy.
I'm not saying what he did is right. Everybody has different morals, but in my eyes, I saw it as something else that she probably doesn't see it as. What I saw was a man who was not heard, and he wanted to be heard and understood.
I mean, why go to a licensed, educated, on the topic therapist when you can just go to a sex worker on Instagram? That makes sense. That correlates perfectly. I'm sure your wife would understand. A spoiler. She didn't. Well, in the video, Monique was saying that the gel lady was making a huge deal out of absolutely nothing and calling her out for absolutely no reason. And her husband reached out because he feels small in the relationship.
And I'm not about to see this girl do it all alone over something that she thinks is bigger than what it is. Now, while the first time she came at me was not crazy and I did respect it, I did get a little when I started seeing things like, I'm gonna raise my daughter to be da 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 da. And I posted that video because when she gave that scenario of a man taking care of his family and then leaving, it was very relatable for me. First of all, I want to make it very clear we did not meet up in person. Second of all, even though there was communication, I think there was a reason. I don't feel like this man is heard, and now I feel like he's being slightly bashed on the internet. And she might not be wrong for this. She might have a whole different image of what's going on.
Which I can understand if you are a man or just a person who is with someone who has a very large following, right? Started a business, the business goes absolutely well, and is also still working, well, not a normal job, but serving the country while you're getting gel slapped on your head. Maybe you feel just a tiny bit insignificant. Maybe communicate that with either your wife or a therapist. Going to a sex worker who doesn't have a confidentiality agreement is never gonna be a good look for you, and no one's going to be on your side. So many people did not like Monique's little attitude in her TikTok. She was making it seem that Ashley is just crazy and she's not giving what her man needs. Communication, all while he's seeking out a sex worker, but okay. But she was trying to make it look like she really cares about this man, and Ashley needs to just, you know, calm down, shut up, and talk to him. I mean, talk about a sex worker that really cares about her clients. Anyway, look at her face. She doesn't give a about this man. This is a wonderful day for her to get attention, while Ashley named absolutely no one. This did not have to go as viral as it did. She even stood up for her husband, who supposedly has been confirmed to be cheating, and Ashley even said he didn't do anything, this has nothing to do with me. In fact, she lied for his ass. Lied and said, I just took him off because of social media. Monique, the woman that cares for this man so much, comes out with this video exposing that he decided to go to a sex worker when he's having problems in his relationship, which then exposed him to be a cheater, which then just made Ashley dig deeper, allegedly, into the relationship, into what her husband's doing, and confirm that he is cheating. Monique gave Ashley the push she needed to leave his ass. Ashley tried to save him.
You guys, this is not my situation right now.
Monique threw his ass under the bus with a smile during a hurricane. She knows this was not going to make him look good. I think she knew this wouldn't make her look good. Honestly, I have no clue, because what guy who signs up for her services would want to see a video of her face talking about what they came to her for? That's not a good look for her business either. Okay. Well, after all of this, remember when I said the husband said he's not fond of social media? Well, the husband who says he doesn't like social media would create a page of himself and speak up, not against the sex worker, against Ashley.
But I'm not about to let a person who used me for their success,
Used?
the whole marriage, run my name through the mud.
Let me get this straight, you angry man. You're upset at Ashley, but not at Monique, the one that told everyone that you have no one to talk to, so you went to a sex worker? Okay. Also, you are the bad guy. You cheated, idiot. Well, because of all of this, and probably some things that we don't know behind the scenes that Ashley wants to keep private, she's filing for divorce. Thank God. But also, I hate that she wants to keep it private. They literally pick the perfect ones. Because if it's a cheating situation, is this thing on? I'm telling everyone. But Ashley, she's not doing that. According to her, they are getting a divorce, but he's still family, the father of her children, and she will not be talking negatively against the father of her children.
But one thing I just cannot tolerate is people speaking bad about my family. And my husband is my family. Whether we work this out or not, he is my family.
I know some of the men in my comment section is saying, now that's a real woman. Bitch, I'm telling everybody if somebody cheats on me, and I wish more women would. But I have to say, it does make her look like a really good person. But man, that would be hard for me not to be like, yep, he cheated. But good for her, it does make her look even better as a person and makes him look even worse. You deserve to get slapped on the head.
It's one thing to go on social media and tell them about your private life, especially when your partner done told you over and over about that. But it's another thing to tell me one thing, but let social media believe it's another thing.
Anyway, that video did not go in his favor, and he eventually deleted all of that. The TikTok combat lady is still doing gel tutorials, makeup tutorials, but she also shifted a bit to talk about her journey through divorce.
I remember telling a man that if I ever lost them, I would die. And bitch, I'm still alive. I feel like my routine, my life has just did a 180, and I'm trying to figure out a new routine that brings me joy and happiness and peace. And obviously there's some other things I have to take care of, and some hard things I have to take care of, but just day-to-day life, it's so different than what I was doing and what I had plans to do. It's a really hard realization, knowing that the future you had pictured for yourself and you were 100% sure this future was what you were gonna have, and then you just don't anymore.
And that, my darlings, is the story of the breakup between Combat Gel Lady and her angry husband. And I think it's safe to say that she will continue to find lots of success, and I wonder if the ex-husband will ever find a way to tarnish her name, even though she didn't do it to him. What does my audience think of all this? What would you do if you were in Ashley's situation? Or actually, better question, what would you do if you were the husband and you got outed going to an sex worker for therapy? Would you get on the internet and post TikTok? I think if I was in that situation, I would just sit there Quietly, I don't really have a social media presence. My wife is not exposing what I actually did. I got off scot-free. In my opinion, that video made him look very stupid, dumb, idiotic, and uneducated, unhinged, and just no sense of awareness. All of those things wrapped up in one little TikTok video package.
Go on social media and tell them about your private life.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have an absolutely grand day. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay up with all the drama, even though sometimes I'm a little fashionably late. And I will see you guys next time.
Wake up, honey, I made you breakfast. Fresh coffee and bagels too. A new day is waiting for us. We got lots of fun stuff to do. Let's go to the zoo and feed the monkeys. I can lend them your baseball cap. Let's make the day a barrel of fun. Growing up is just a trap. Don't